Hey guys, welcome to this video lecture series on the subject of process equipment design. I'm Harsh Panchal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Well, in a previous video of the chapter, that is process designing of pipings and pump, we have seen different devices that are being used to transport our fluids. Well, to transport liquids, we have already covered the pumping segment, right? But to transport gases, we have seen the designing of compressor, blower and fans. Well, we have also understand which specific equipment should be selected for the desired value based on the pressure output. We have seen that if pressure required is very low, then we should select fan. If pressure required is around 1 atmosphere, then we can use the blowers. And if our pressure requirement is higher than the 1 atmosphere, then we should select compressor. And we have solved one numerical based on the designing of multi-stage compressor, right? So now in this particular video, we are going to understand about the different flow meters. Well, you can see here on the screen that there are different types of the flow meter which are available in a chemical industry. You can see here we are using volumetric type. You can see here we are using Venturi meter for the larger application. Even we are also using this orifice meter which is being used on a large scale for the different chemical industries. And for the quick estimation of the flow rate, we are using this rotameter in order to measure the flow rate of given piping system. So a variety of flow meter which are being used in a chemical industry, right? There are different flow meters apart from only these three, right? There are pitot tubes and several other volumetric flow rates. Other devices that are being used to measure the flow through the piping system. Well, in many applications, the volumetric flow rate is the direct interest of the user, right? So, majority of the user are interested in measurement of the volumetric flow rate. And these devices are largely used to measure the volumetric flow rate. Because of their accuracy, simplicity and relatively low cost, these flow rates are popular in the chemical industry. These flow meters are Venturi meter, orifice meter and the rotameter basically fall under this category of the chemical industry, right? So let's just understand how do we can design one orifice meter at the first stage. So you can see here the process design of the orifice meter, which says that in an orifice meter you can see here in this diagram when the fluid flow through the orifice, that is this thing, this is our orifice that is being shown by the yellow line, right? It forms a free flowing jet. You can see here we are actually reducing the area, right? We are reducing the flow area. That means we are creating resistance by means of such obstacles. You can see here this yellow line is nothing but one obstacle in the flow area, right? So we are achieving a free flowing jet. As you can see here, this is the free flowing jet because of this obstacle which are offered in the orifice. So this free flowing jet is first contract and then it expands. You can see here in this particular segment, you can see this line. Here if the flow is contracted, right? And then it expand again, right? You can see here. So the minimum flow area achieved by the free flowing jet is known as the vena contracta. So let me just take a pen here. You can see that this particular area, right? I am discussing about this particular area where the free flowing jet is having minimum area. This particular area is the minimum area and that is being known as the vena contracta, right? This particular thing is again very important for the 1 marks question in your GTU exam. They will be asking you what do we mean by the vena contracta. Then it is minimum flow area achieved by the free flowing jet, right? So this is the free flowing jet. It is being constructed, or we can say it is being formed because of this obstacle, we can say orifice, which is being introduced inside the piping system, right? the mass flow rate through this particular orifice can also be measured by different equations that we will understand in a upcoming section, right? But for now, let's just understand what are the different advantages of the orifice meter. You can see here that orifice meter is basically having very low fixed cost. You can see here what we are going to require is we are going to require several flanges and one metal piece that can be constructed into the orifice. So we are going to require these two flanges on the both sides of the pipe, and again we are going to require this orifice that is being shown by the yellow line, right? So the fixed cost is very less with the orifice meter because we are requiring very less of the parts. Then it is very easy to fabricate or install, right? We can easily insert such type of the setup in each and every pipe, right? Since it is very simple. Now it occupies very less space compared to the Venturi meter. Venturi meter generally occupy larger space than this particular type of the meter. This meter require very less space, right? And lastly, the orifice meter also provide large flexibility because it can be easily replaced whenever it requires, right? So these are the advantages that can be asked in your GTU exam for the orifice meter. Well, this orifice meter also have several drawbacks, or we can say disadvantages. So only biggest disadvantage of this flow meter is that it requires higher power consumption. Since we are having one obstacle inside the flow of the fluid, hence we will require higher power rate, right? So the power consumption with the orifice meter is very high, and hence its operating cost is generally high compared to the Venturi meter and the rotameter, right? So this is only the disadvantage of the orifice meter, which required higher power consumption. Now here the next thing is that to understand the standard location of these particular manometric points, right? Where do we have to attach this particular tab, or we can say manometric point, so that we can have the maximum pressure drop and the accurate reading of our pressure inside the manometer that ultimately lead us to measure the accurate mass flow rate of the fluid, right? Of the flowing fluid. So there are different categories, or we can say different points or location where we can actually attach this tapping, or we can actually attach this manometer. So let's just understand that one by one. Well, the very first standard location of the pressure tab is the corner tabs. You can see here these are the corner tabs, right, which are provided just near to the flange. So this is the orifice and this particular thing is our tab, right? Let me just take a pen here. This particular small opening, right, this particular small opening is for the pressure tab that will be attached to this outlet, right? So these are the corner tabs, right? You can see here static hole which is being made in the upstream and downstream flange. So this is the flange, and we are actually making one hole at the upstream and downstream location of this particular flange, and that are being known as the corner tabs, right? So they are very close to the orifice plate. You can see here this is our orifice plate and these are the openings, right, for the tapping purpose. So they are very close to the orifice plate. With the corner tabs, it is possible to drill both static holes in the orifice itself. So with this particular type of the tapping, we can actually drill one hole on the both sides of the orifice plate itself, right? Then the entire orifice meter can be easily inserted in any flange joining without drilling hole in pipe or the flange. So for the installation purpose, this type of the tapping are very easy, right? Since we can actually create, or we can actually drill hole inside the orifice meter or inside the orifice plate itself, right? So we can easily install it in the any piping system. Now the second tapping is the flange tapping, in which we are providing tapping inside the flange. You can see here this is the flange and we have provided tapping in this particular flange itself, right? So that we can measure the pressure drop in our flowing system. So basically we have to drill a static hole that are being made at the distance of 25.4 mm on the upstream side and 25.4 mm on the downstream side. That is 1 inch, right? So we are providing one hole at the 1 inch distance on the upstream side and on the downstream side as well, right? So that we can measure the pressure drop. So these are the two basic taps that are being used to measure the pressure drop. Now the fourth one is the radius taps. You can see here static holes are being located at the distance of 1 pipe meter on the upstream side and 1.5 pipe meter on the downstream side, right? So you can see here, this is the one diameter of the pipe. On the upstream side, we are providing one hole, right? And on the downstream side, at a half diameter, we are providing one another hole to measure the pressure drop. So in a radius tap, we are providing the first hole at the 1 diameter distance on the upstream side, and the second hole is provided on the half diameter distance from this orifice plate on the downstream direction, right? Now you can see that radial strip are best for the practical standard point of view. So these type of the tapes are largely used in industry as well because they are best for the practical point of view, and it gives reasonably good pressure difference and with the higher accuracy compared to the other types of the location, right? Except that Vanna contractor tapes provide more accurate data of the pressure drop, right? So let's just understand what is the Vanna contractor taps. You can see here on the upstream static hole, on the upstream side, a static hole is provided at the 1.5 inch to 2 inch times of the pipe diameter, right? So we can actually provide this hole at distance of the range half to 2 times of the pipe diameter, right? And the downstream tape is being located at the position of the minimum pressure, that is nothing but your Vanna contractor, right? So at the Vanna contractor, the downstream tap is provided. Vanna contractor tap gives maximum pressure difference for a given flow rate, right? So this type of the taps provide maximum pressure drop and it ultimately gives the accurate flow rate of the flowing system. But it is not that much suitable that in each and every case we cannot use this Vanna contractor type of the taps, right? If orifice size is need to be changed frequently, that is time to time, then we cannot provide such type of the tapping in that case, right? Now after this, there is one more standard location for providing taps, that is pipe taps, right? So you can see here one static hole is being located at 2.5 times the pipe diameter on the upside, right? So on the upstream side, we are having 2.5 times diameter. At this particular distance, we have our upstream side hole, right? And downstream hole is provided at 8 times of the diameter, at the distance of 8 times at the diameter, right? So this means our fluid will flow normally on the both sides without being affected by the turbulence that is being created by this orifice plate, right? So the basic idea to provide these taps at very large interval is that we can ultimately achieve the normal behavior of the flow, right? That is unaffected by the turbulence. The turbulence is being created by this particular orifice. So on the upstream side, we have our first hole that is at the distance of 2.5 times our diameter of pipe. And on the downstream side, at the distance of 8 times diameter, we have downstream hole, right? So this was all about the standard location for the pressure taps, right? This particular question is again very important for the GTU exam. This question has been asked for so many times, right? So in this particular video, we have understand about the different flow meters, right? We have seen we can use different flow meter based on the requirement. Generally, we are using orifice meter and rotameter for the quick estimation of the flow rate through the piping system. And we have also understand the different advantages and disadvantages of the orifice meter. And we have also understand the standard location where we need to provide tapping for the measurement of the pressure difference in the orifice meter. Well, in the next video, we will understand how we can calculate mass flow rate from this particular orifice meter. And we will try to solve different numerical based on this particular example, based on this particular flow meter, right? And then we will also understand different flow meters as well. Till then, Keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.